Hello. Is this working, he says. Is this working? It should be. Ah, it is working. Woohoo! It's working. We have all the things live. Hopefully, he says. Hopefully. I don't know. I'm still getting used to this whole thing. Hello, and welcome to Twitch with Dr. Aslark. There you go. Anyway, today, I decided to add in my Friday ritual, which is at the end of the week. I tend to start checking up on the various ships I've had to design over the week on UAD, because I tend to use that as my methodology of testing ship designs. I know it's not necessarily the best, but it provides me a quick and dirty way to give myself a fairly accurate, relatively accurate model within my skill set. So, you know, here it is. Now, I'm hoping shield mode is not activated, and I'm hoping the chat is free and open to everyone. No, all those shield modes should be, all those things should be off. Yes, off. No emotes, only chat. It's all fine. Good. So the chat is working. And, you know, sometimes people join me, sometimes people don't. I hope they do join me. And I hope, as I said, it's working. But, no. On to the point of this week. Alright. So, I'm testing today. I think I'm going to test my British Empire vessel from which I positioned as 1920 in order to get it to build. But, fairly decent vessel. I'll put a group of two of them, and well, I'll do them against what I think were probably the best battleship makers of the Axis. I know this gets me into trouble, but the Tegenovs are pretty darn cool. And frankly, the improved ones are even better. So this, and if you haven't seen, hello, Restrained Dude. Not sure what you're offering, but yeah, that looks like various weird stuff, but anyhow. Anyway, this is the Queen Elizabeth class. Now, as I said, the Queen Elizabeth Supermax. Now, this has some fittings that would make it definitely a lot heavier than it would be heavier if they were building it in the period. And it's what I would call UAD values for some figures. For example, some of the ways you've got these things to work is by making it a little bit fatter than it probably needs to be. I could probably slim it down. Let's see. Slim it down a bit. And can I take down its draft a bit? But that's causing the engine efficiency to... Ooh. Engine efficiency is going up. So down to a little bit. Because I produced this quick and dirty to get an offset design this week. That's still looking pretty nice. That's probably going to be a little bit more efficient in terms of its fuel range. Right. Shall we see what kind of Tegenov we can build? Because that's what we want to fight, don't we? We want to fight the Super Tegenov. Or rather, the as that's Monarch class is what we want to fight, because they were going to be really, really cool. But we'll fight the Erzak Monarchs in a world where the Royal Navy didn't exercise the restraint, which I discussed in the video about the Queen Elizabeth, and did go for this vessel. But again, it's designed in UAD, so those are 16-inch guns, not 16.5-inch guns, as they would have been on the Queen Elizabeth class. But, oh, she looks pretty. That is one thing, they do the aesthetics pretty nice in this video, in this game. Now, as you notice, she's actually 12 tons under what she could be in terms of maximum weight. I suppose I could add some more things on her. I haven't added in a secondary armament, which is not really historically accurate. I would have probably had you would have probably had to have a secondary armament, but you know, it's a case of the problem with UAD, and the reason you can produce things quickly, is they use very much the designs which are actually built as the basis of what they're offering. And to an extent, some of the designs which weren't, but mostly designs which were. And so when you're sort of going, right then, this is the theoretical design of what they could build, they didn't actually build that, so small problem. Could do. I think that is better. But we could also do that. Add in a secondary tower. We'll see. Move that there. Tempting. Definitely tempting. Alternatively, because I did a more aesthetically accurate based on basically taking the existing Royal Navy ship design procedures and going, yeah, this is what they probably would build at this period. Designed for testing earlier in the week. That is interesting. I could do that, or I could move that to there, and move that to there. It's going to reduce the pitch. Can I move that back a bit more? Can. Some guns have poor sectors of fire. Oh, that one's okay, that one's okay, that one's okay, that one's okay, that one's okay. There are no guns with poor sectors of fire at the moment. I'm not sure what you're thinking when you say it's got poor sectors of fire, but it looks pretty darn good to me. So yeah, this is my... well, I think historically the RM would have gone with the gun in the middle. But this is... of course, other navies went with the extra gun aft. extra turret aft. I've gone with the extra turret forward because that'd be cool. And again, these are your options. Sadly enough. Sadly enough. Now, let's go and see what the computer has decided to design for... Oh! No, you're not being fair to my friend. Let's see what you do with the auto design. Those are what? What are those guns? No, I'm looking for that. 15-inch. To be fair, I think they would have, but I think they'd have triple 15s. Why? I don't understand this game. If you give it auto redesign, it automatically turns the ship into something which looks like a Dreadnought version of a pre-Dreadnought, with guns all over the place. Again, those look a bit big for what the Austrians would do. Centerline guns. If the Iron's producing... Well, yeah, they have 15-inch guns as well. If they could have done something bigger than that, then I think the... everyone else could have... But you see, the thing is, they have triples. Traditionally, the Austrians did have triples. Oh, well, nice way. I'm going to play around with this. Let's see. Let's give them a slight speed up, because I know traditionally they went for 21 knot ships, but you know, I think they could have gone for something slightly faster. They are capable vessels. They are a very capable navy. But again, if we consider the designs that they actually produced, I'd say that would be more likely their more likely response to a Royal Navy Queen Elizabeth class with that many 16-inch guns, 16.5-inch guns. Right then. Ship is overweight. Yeah, of course it is. Let's go for a draft up a bit. But we don't want it up too much. Beam up a bit. No, that's not helping. Okay. Let's go with weight up a bit. Very big ship at this point. But what can we go? Where is it? Triple, double. Hey, yeah, that's fixed it. That's going to reduce torpedo. 16-inch. Seriously? They're never going to go for a 16-inch, probably 14 torpedo belt, considering they were building ships with 15-inch guns and they were going to have a 12.2-inch belt. So, in a nice way, 15-inch guns theoretically probably should have the 12.2-inch belt again, but I've you know, let's bust it up to 13. Let's be nice. Conning Tower. Well, historically, that was about 12. So at this point, now I can actually start probably adding back in things which they probably would have had. Again, the game dynamics. Let's see. Guns. Turrets armor. 13 inches on the side. So again, I'm going to be nice and going to go for 40. And it's traditionally, historically, it's about 3 inches on the top, so 4 inches, thank you very much. Casemates armor, well, they traditionally had 6 inches. So yeah, that's a... It won't allow me to give you more than 6... That's wrong. That should be 6 inches. That should allow me to do 6 inches. Hello, Leslie. How are you doing? How goes the world? I have no idea why, but again, UAD is not allowing me to do what I think it should do. But this is a fairly stable gun ship platform. I'm thinking she's good. There again, Skoda Works, they possibly could produce 16-inch guns, but 15 inches is what I've gone with as historically. That's the most they'd actually produce. And again, they're mainly worrying about the Italians, so it's in a sort of what's the Italian response to a Royal Navy ship with 16.5-inch guns. I would say that's interesting. They do have access to oil. So would they have gone for oil? They were going to be oil-fired, so yeah, I'll go with oil-fired. Oh, we're upgrading the shafts, definitely. No point in we having shafts that weak. Okay. That's looking good. Just finished work. Ah. So, ditto. And hence I get to actually test out my designs in a fun way this week. Because from this point onwards till Sunday when I do brew ships, although I'm not sure I consider brew ships work, basically it's my time off for the week. And as I was doing this anyway, I thought, I'll live stream it and chat away with people. Because that means I'm not just talking to myself on a computer. I've decided it's slightly more normal, well, slightly more acceptable as a insane perspective to be talking to Twitch. And hoping someone's there watching. Now, let's go back to my Queen Elizabeth class, modified. And check on her. And check I haven't played around with that design a little bit too much. Try and keep that remotely accurate. So again, I have 14 conning armour on the turrets. Probably be 11 inch on the sides and 14 inch on the 12 inches on the sides and 14 inch on the front. Historically, it's 11 inches on the side and 13 inches on the front. So let's go for 13 inches. Let's go for 13 inches. And yeah, top of turrets. That's probably about right for British. But yeah, that's these are going to be some fairly stable ships when they engage each other. Ooh, if I try and give it anything like enhanced reload. Standard reload only. Hydraulic turrets. Even advanced hydraulic turrets, it doesn't like. Increased shells. Heavy. Ooh, I can get heavy shells in that. Oh, let's go for heavy shells. Ooh. Maximum armor piercing. No, I think I'll go for increased armor piercing for the main battery. Standard ratio, a maximum high for the secondaries, because I don't have secondaries. And yeah, I'll add that on. But that's looking good. Let's see how it goes. Elesian spoke to my dad. He said the 1910 to 30 order book for Elswick should be in a Titan Weir archives or BAE Systems archives. It should be, and it probably is. But the thing is, if I am judging what I'm looking for because I'm hunting, as said, what I suspect strongly is an 18-inch gun, and the 18-inch gun program development for Agincourt. My current running theory is that under such a scenario, that system is probably, and if I'm being honest, probably not going to be listed as an 18-inch gun. It's going to be listed as a 15-inch special or something like that. So I'm going to have to try and figure out what code and what phrases they're using for it, and that's going to take more time. Because it's going to be going through and going, what are actual real orders, what are normal covered orders, and what are specialist orders. They're available in 1980s to view our research and development orders. Yeah. The trouble is, the only copies of them are up in the Tyne, I think, in the Tyne and Weir archives. I think the BAE Systems archives gave them to them. Because that's what I've been told, anyway. Ooh, this is actually called Agincourt. I wasn't aiming for that at all. Appropriate and serendipitous, but yes. Ooh, enemy smoke to the north. Okay. So, as you can see, this is my modified Agincourt design. Heavy 14. Yeah, they are. There is a debate as to whether or not they were listed as 13.5-inch specials or 14-inch specials. And I think possibly in Elswick they are listed as the 14-inch specials, but in archives in London they're listed as the 13.5-inch specials. It seems to be there's something going on there, and 14-inch doesn't really fit with British construction methodology at the time. But I suppose they could cover it by saying they were doing it for foreign orders, which would be a further cover and a reason to make it call it the 14-inch. Let's see, what's my other battleship? Oh, it's Ajax. So I have Ajax and Agincourt. Let's go see what these are doing. You are the Austro-Hungarians. I expect you to do actually a very good fight in this one. Usually you test me more than the Germans do. And this is a fairly accurate representation of what an Erzat monarch could have looked like. But seriously, these ships are ranging in blooming quickly. Oh, I'm glad. You'll be seeing your dad on Sunday. That's good. That's good. If he has any tips, please send them my way. I'll receive them greatly appreciative of them. I think that's going to be probably my hunt. You wanted to be a marine engineer? I was unable to go to sea. Ooh. That's sad. But there again, life worked out. He got you. So that's probably that's a good thing. I'd have to say, this is. I think Agincourt and the hunt for Agincourt is going to turn into my. How the frick? This design, I'm not sure how it's doing it, but it does seem very quick at ranging in. Has it lost the turret? It's got a turret damaged. Don't know if it's got it knocked out. Let's see. Oh no, it fired, so it's working. It's still working. That's the one good thing. That's the really good thing about UAD, though. It does give you an idea of the fact that at most of the ranges they were fighting, they were firing at smudges on the horizon. Thank you. Yeah, I have a feeling that I'm going to be doing my pilgrimages to Newcastle, etc., for their research archives in probably October this year. Probably at this point. Oh, good lord. How are they... Okay, so I know I'm using these are 16-inch guns, not 16.5-inch guns, because UAD doesn't have 16.5-inch guns, sadly. But the 16-inch guns appear to be doing a lot of damage compared to the 15-inch guns. And Mars, yes, they do have an extra triple turret per ship. Because this is me adapting my QE Maximus design. Which I did, of course. Hi Kingsbrook. It's not sort of that overpowered compared to what it's fighting. 2 Austrian battleships versus 2 Royal Navy battleships. There's only 6 more guns on this side. How the frick are you managing to... Well, I suppose it is on fire. I can see you... Yeah, I can see why I can... Oh. You are the hopes of Austria right now. You are the hope of Austria. You can get the glory. Live up to the Tegetthoff name. Go for victory. You just have no calms at all. And... Are you... You're just out for a Sunday sale, aren't you? Remember the NESO Northumberland launch? A nice ship. Seriously. Oh, Ajax, yeah, you've been hit. You have had a... That's a small fire going on. There's fire happening. But, no, they're being put out. Ajax is carrying on. Agincourt, you just... No worry for your second at all. So I suppose you're thinking, I've been hit more. Oh, you've got slight flooding. Ever so slight flooding. If you look, you can see... Hang on, you can't with my picture in the way. If I move to here, you can see... Slight flooding on Agincourt. Slight flooding. I'll shrink myself up a bit. Let's see. But... Yeah, you're not really much part of the fight anymore, are you? You're still firing, though, and for that, Austria appreciates, but you, come on. Come on, Othertrude. You can do this. Are you getting... Please can I check this, because I've been playing around with some of the sound settings. Are you getting the sound of the gameplay of the shooting? So is the sound of the game coming through to all of you? If you're still watching. Good. Because I have had fun with Total War. I love this game. It does make testing out chip designs a lot more fun. A little louder than you. A little louder than me. Okay. That is good. Right then. So, let's see. How's it going? Olacourt is still going for them. Let's go check. Agincourt, you're on fire! You're trailing smoke. You've got rudder damage. And now fire there. Agincourt, you're on fire. But so how is your Sunday sale, Ajax? So, you know, you enjoying yourself? A little bit of blackening, but you know, otherwise. It's mostly damage from your own guns, isn't it? You're mostly just here because you wanted to be somewhere and to say hello. Let's go check on second engine down on them. See what I mean, though, when I talk about how speed can dictate the ranges. I mean, that's another rabbit hole you're opening for me. I do like to open rabbit holes in terms of naval history. They are my favourite things. Naval history should be full of rabbit holes. It should be. Take care, listen. Go look after your granddaughter. Granddaughter's family always comes first. Family always comes first. That is what I was raised by my family to believe. And so far it's always stood by me. Now, it wasn't just... Very good to hear that, lesson. It wasn't just, of course, the Queen Elizabeth class Maximus I've been playing around with this week. It's a few others. Don't worry, King's Rook. Don't worry. Ooh. I hope you enjoy it, Leslie. I hope you enjoy it. I like my book. I think it's a good one. There are bits I would like to rewrite now, but that's because after reading it and going again, I'm going, But yeah, I hope you like it. Ooh. You're carrying on fighting. That was a hard hitting. What is causing the damage? What is causing the damage? So, yeah, these ships really aren't sweating much against their opponents. But there's still two of their opponents out there, so where is the other one? This way somewhere. Where are you? No one knows where you are. I think you must be over this way somewhere. But I could have lost you. Where are you? No. That one we can see. Okay, which one of you just missed? I'm watching you, Ajax and Agincourt. Agincourt, you'd better hit with something. Because if that was you... Nope, you hit. Good. Thank you, Lizin. Reading a book a couple of times is probably the nicest thing you can say to an author, because, or any sort of person who writes, because if you read it once, okay, but if you go back and read it again, that means you found it interesting. Theoretically. Or you found it so terrible you want to work out why it was so terrible. But I'm hoping it was interesting. But that's not, I'm hoping that's not sounding like needy author. Oh, good lord. Ooh. Okay, that is Agincourt who keeps missing. Agincourt, come here, we're going to have a conversation with you. Now, Agincourt, I know your superstructure is pretty beat up. I do realise this. And you have been hit a few times, but structurally you're at 75%, floating at 98%, all your guns are still working, yes, your central superstructure is still flame grilled, but your aft mast is completely clear of damage. Oh, good lord. That's a fire in a not very good place. That is a fire in a not very good place. Ouch. Okay, you're starting... Okay. Urglach, you've tried your best. You have really tried your best. You have really fought hard. I salute you with water. Okay, so she's pretty much stopped in the water, because her practical speed is about... If she's doing more than 3 or 4 knots, I'd be surprised. Well, that's her maximum speed, yeah, but she ain't doing 25 knots. Not at the moment. Not in this condition. What are you two doing over here? You're just now circling her. Well, I suppose that's one methodology. Your guns then don't have to move at all, and she has to keep moving her guns. It thinks the other Austrian ship is here. Not visible. We'll have to go check it out. Hello, King George VI. Okay, I enjoy Ultimate Admiral Dreadnought far too much. Far too much. I do admit that. I get to test, mainly because as a historian, I get to test things out. So for a historian, getting to test things out is just great. And that's my major sort of love of this system. But, well, also I get to play around. So instead of doing a historically accurate Argent Corps as I produced in my design work for the for Thursday's video and Saturday's video, the live and recorded on the YouTube channel, I've done one which has 3 triples forward, 2 triples aft. Yeah. Yeah, I have about the same in Empire Total War. That's why I do that on Sundays. Empire Total War, Rome Total War, they're my relaxing games. It's going to sound strange, but I don't play UAD on the weekend at all. I just don't. I don't touch it because it's something I use for quite a lot of work. You see, at the moment I'm getting to relax and enjoy it, but normally I'd be going through this going, right then, how's this going, because I'd be running a simulation and testing out their performance. And then I'd use the perimeters there and I'd load it up into usually my Harpoon-based system and just get the computer to run the sims and just sit there, and that's whirring in the background for maybe the next day or so. I have to admit, I did used to play with some of the mods on Empire Total War, but when I'm just relaxing I tend to play without the mods, because if I'm just relaxing and enjoying myself like I am on Sunday afternoon when I do the games there, I just like the regular game. I don't need to think too much. Once you've got the mods in, you have to start thinking about how the mods affect the game. Although I did have an interesting chat with someone who was at a conference who seemed to be working on the development team of Empire Total War and was working in that sort of area and was going, oh yeah, we have looked at more modern, doing a more modern version, i.e. later on with later equipment, etc. than you see in Empire. But it's the case of is working out who the factions would be in terms of which countries you include, which countries you don't include. It's the size of the empire you're going to have, size of the world map, and it's something like, it's also specialist units. You're sitting there going, so which do you pick as the equivalent of victory in a World War One era total war? Do you pick Warspite? Do you pick Queen Elizabeth? Or do you pick Dreadnought? My response of why not all three, and it was, you know, not particularly pleasing to him. And I also added in Renown and Hood, but we'll leave that to one side. I think you are not long for this world. Honestly, you're afloat, but that's a testimony to the quality of your Austrian engineering. That is just a testimony purely to the quality of your Austrian engineering. Okay. Enemy smoker spotted south. Well, gentlemen, I think you're going to have to... You've been racing against them to keep the distance up. Now you're having to go to them to take them out. So, you've got avoiding torpedoes on. No, I'm going to have to turn you off auto if I'm going to get this to work. And of course, this is not... Yeah, hello, Division 2, that direction. Ooh! I do believe the Zero is here to catch us up. Ooh, good lord. It is. That is why Empire Total War is good. Or they could go back to Rome Total War and basically make that a global one, because honestly, there are certain factions which would be really quite interesting to have in the Rome Total War era, and do sort of that era, have China have everywhere included in the same sort of period, and just see what you can do with it. But I don't know. I'm not as big a fan of the modern Total Wars, because some of them seem to have gone very much sit there and go, this is almost gimmicky. It was fine having it so that you raise the systems in your cities. It was fine having that. Having your regions, your cities. Yeah. Let's see. Now I've got the range down, you should be able to hammer them. Should be. The fact that you are still afloat is just amazing to me. Clark, it's such a... Hello, hello, well, it's Mickey 007. Oh, thank you. It works! Sorry, I got told by Garrus the Brit I had to include some things which sort of flashed up and said hello to people when they followed the channel. You just finished your sesh. Was it a good one? Ooh. Come on. I am sort of testing out, well, as I pointed out in the Thursday video I did on my YouTube channel, the Agincourt design, well, the Super Queen Elizabeth, if I built it, if it had been built, would have probably followed the Iron Duke layout with the 2 forward A, B, Q, X, Y arrangement. But, this is me having some fun. You know the game is already in 1.2.1. I do, but I originally got this in the beta variant, not the Steam variant, and it's not upgraded that well. And also, I put things to work with this, which allow it for me to test around with things. But yeah, I do realise I have to upgrade it. And have to sort it out on that one. But that is a project for next week at the moment. At the moment, this is doing what I needed to do. You should have got a Steam code to transfer it to Steam. At least that is how someone else had it happen. They haven't sent me anything. I'll have to message them and find out. Because I don't run it through Steam. I have it all on the system at the moment. No. It might allow me to do a few things. Also, me fooling around has gotten me into a battleship with 6 Mark III 14-inch guns. Okay. Life could be worse. Life could be worse. That would certainly give you a bit of firepower. Now, the Austrian ships were based on the Erzat Monarch class. And, well, their the design ideas for this match. I know, I've been testing out 3 designs this week. The Queen Elizabeth Maximus, the what I call the King George V class if Chatfield's not in charge, which I think make a lot of sense, the King George V class if Chatfield's not in charge. Secondaries are 34 triple Mark IV. Okay, that's a lot of 4-inch fire. That's a lot of 4-inch guns. That is the sort of level you would only carry on UAD. You named it the War Crime class. Yeah, that would sort of... not quite, but it would get there. It'd certainly cause some fun. As you can see, I've gone for quite a clean build. Which is normally what I have to say I do, because normally I'm testing out designs, and I'm just going, right then, let's test this out and think about what would it have, and try and keep it as realistic as possible, because otherwise I throw my own data. Yeah, these were built in 1920. To get the required weaponry to work out what the Royal Navy could have been building in 1911, because I can look at it all and it's all there, and all the stuff is in there in the sort of in the archives, in the source material. You can look up and what could potentially built, hence the Queen Elizabeth Maximus. It's lovely, but it's a case of, well, because it's not built, UAD system doesn't tend to allow it. So then until you go much later, when they do build something like it. So you have to go, sort of go, right then, let's go through this. Dun dun dun. Yeah, and here it is. Thank you very much. Seriously, you have 2% structure. How are you still afloat? How are you still alive? Okay, 1% structure. I'm sorry, if a ship is down to 1% structural integrity, it isn't gonna be alive. Yes, sinking is its natural state at this point. Let's see. Oh, why are there only 3 coming? Agincourt has run out of armor piercing, I think. Only has high explosive left. Ajax only has high explosive left. No, armor piercing left. No, high explosive armor left. Only armor piercing left. Okay, that'll do. I was misreading my symbols. This is not a good time for this level. Okay, 5%. I don't think, Aluk, you're going to be around much longer. But you did put up a very brave fight, and you were definitely better than most of the other opponents that I faced this week. Admittedly, most of the ones this week were facing vessels with Q turrets rather than ABC XY turrets, but you know, it was still a pretty efficient design. Okay, you're down to 2%. Down to... Nope, still around. Still got more than 2%. 2%. Okay, still around. Still floating, still on 2%. Seriously, if you were down to 2%, your hull would be like paper frickin' mache. If not a colander. How you're still 91% floating, I do not know, but your internal subdivision must be something absolutely amazing. 0.4% structural integrity. At this point, you are sinking. Come on, 0.2%. 0.2%. Come on. All the sailors are bucketing. All the sailors are doing something. All the sailors were certainly doing something. Yeah, Agincourt and Ajax did quite well. Not that one again. Alright, let's go to the 1940s one. And let's go Germany. And we'll do 2v2. Jacob, live on a Friday? Yes, I do Fridays and I do Sundays. Fridays are UAD time because I normally muck around on a Friday afternoon on UAD anyway after I finished work. For a bit, because I have, it's going to sound strange, I have a meeting every week at about 6 o'clock on a Friday with some of my postgraduate students, and I finished teaching at about 3:30, or well, yeah, about 3:30 on a Friday. So I have 2.5 hours where I don't do anything. As a rule, I tend to play UAD and just go through the designs I was building that week and just test them out for fun. And well, today I thought, well, I'll just put this on. Instead of me sitting here talking away to UAD on my own and sounding like a bit of an idiot or something else because I'm talking to a computer game, I'll put on Twitch and then I'm talking to other people. So then I'm not strange. I'm talking to other people. See? There is a method to my madness. Yeah, I'm talking to other people, so I'm not me. I'm not strange. Yeah, let's design some ships. Oh, good lord, no. Right, so if I had been designing the King George V, I call this. Now, King George V have a maximum tonnage. Are designed with a stand displacement of up to 40,602 tons, 642 tons, and deep load of 46,000 tons. So, for starters, we're going for a deep load of roughly that sort of figure. Now, it should be okay. We want a top speed of 28 knots. Always good to have. We want maximum bulkheads. We want it fully oil free. We want probably induced. And if we're going for traditional, we're going to go for geared turbines. We're going to want auxiliary diesel engines, because that's what British put in. We want triple shafts. We want King George V, broadly speaking, we'll call it equivalent to that. Crop 4, anti-torpedo 5, double hull, reinforced bulkheads, anti-flood 2, citadel, all or nothing, sort of. They had sort of all or nothing. Now we're strange to go. That's the plan. That is the plan. Let's see. Armor belt. Traditionally 14.7. I'm going to go for 15. Because I'm like that. Conning tower. Oh, thankfully, finally they've got down to something normal. 4 inches. Superstructure. We'll put that down to. We'll put that to 2 inches as well. The forebelt, aft belt, yeah, we'll leave that as about 7 and 7. Main deck, right then, deck was roughly 6 inches, aft deck 5 inches and 5. So, right then. This is how I would have designed a King George V. Is basically my view. Now, theoretically, I am trying to keep accurate to history. Now doesn't she look pretty? Probably 2 inches of solid steel more than anything. Now again, for some reason they don't offer 5.25s, of which I'm sure we are all devastated. I'm sure we are all absolutely traumatized by the fact they do not offer the 5.25. So, yes, 6 inches it is. Ah, terrible. And some twin fours. to be accurate to history. There you go. Go getting some pom-poms, some 2-inch ones. Let's put some treble barrel pom-poms in places. Always like some nice pom-poms going around, yeah. And, yeah. Right then. Royal Navy, coincidence rangefinder, of course. Acoustics. They had... Ooh, let's see. Well, they would have had that, because they had that pretty much unlocked on radar, but we'll sort this all out in a second. 51,000 tons now, once I've ordered equipment. Ooh, naughty Alex. What are we going to take out? Right then. We need standard training. We need veterans, of course. And we're now 5,000 tons overweight. But if we consider UAD again in this format, I do realise they have slightly better formats that have come out. This one, you're given basically the range at top speed. So originally they could do 15,600 nautical miles at 10 knots, which is 28,900 kilometers at 10 knots. So being able to do 11,000 at 28 knots, that's pretty much full out. So we could take that down a bit. That would drop us down a few hundred tons. So not really worth it. We could also knock the superstructure down a bit. Takes us down a bit. And turret armor. Ooh, well, if we consider in real life, their turrets were 13 inches. And probably a lot less on the top. That takes it down quite a lot. Now, what else shall we do? No, induce is needed to get an 100% efficiency. Well, we can do that. We can increase the draft a bit. Gives us a bit more maneuverability. And we can increase the beam a bit. But that actually takes our weight up faster than it does take anything else up. Goodness gracious me, if we make it as fully fat as it can be, goes down really strange. So we're about 1,000 tons over. What shall we get? What should we do? What did I do the other day? I've got 16-inch guns there. Now you see, in real life, what I'd have done is bring all these in and then shorten up the armor belt. It works. Doesn't work as much as I'd like it to. Aft weight offset. Ooh. Full weight offset now 1.8%. But I have now got space for that and those. So I now got more 6-inch guns, which is good. It is good. And it's starting to look closer to what I built it to be. Now, what else did I use to get around it? Took that down to that. Left that there. So I need to make up 1,000 tons. How did I make up 1,000 tons? Was it that way? No. I wouldn't do the few. I always do minimum standard bulkheads. Wasn't that? I think it was that actually. And I think it might have been increasing the draft. Which also helped gate aft weight offset now 6.2%. Now heavier aft than it's forward. I can't remember. It's just always you never can be happy, can you, computer system? You never can be happy. Now you're happy. Aft off weight, still that. Okay, move everything forward just a tad. And full weight offset, 1.4. 10,000 kilometers. Yeah, that does. And I can probably take the draft down a tad as well now. Okay. For a full load displacement, that's not bad, and that produces me a fairly decent King George, what I would have built instead of King George V's. Now, there was a reason I was actually playing around with this, is if I was going, right then, so let's say I'm trying to build something which is as off the shelf as possible, but better than the King George V's. And pretty much these are the options I came up with. Now, I was tempted to use the 4.5 instead of the 6-inch gun, but the trouble is, for here I'd have to use the 5-inch gun, and the 5-inch gun wouldn't be historically accurate with the British. They had the 5.25 or the 4.5, but they did have 6-inch guns as secondaries on some of their capital ships still in World War II, and I thought, well, let's try it off with the 6-inch. Because that'd be off the shelf, and I could have produced a 6-inch dual purpose for a carrier, for a capital ship. I could have done. Now, let's go see what our opponent has. Or will have. Does it calculate how much fuel bunkers? Let's go to the nicer now. Let's delete this design. so let's go for... We are now looking at the German one. They don't have an N3 G3 class. They do have modern battleships. Their modern battleships are mostly of this design. They don't have super battleships. And I'm just going to put auto design. And let's see what they produce. Because what they produce tends to be, yeah, this. This is supposed to be a German ship. Fine. Then let's go to the enemy, because it's decided to muck around. Not sure what was going on there. And go for Modern Battleship 2. And go Auto Design. Always worries me when it does this. Let's see, what's it got? They're 16-inch guns. Okay. It's gone for 6 of them. Caramba. Let's start fixing this all. I know you don't like your beam because of the going through the Kiel Canal, but let's be practical about this. And you have got a very shallow draft. You've got a massively long range. You've got diesel engines, that should be okay. I have no idea why they decided to do that. Is that a crane or is that a gun? It's a gun. And if you might notice, I am trying valiantly to actually make it somewhat historically accurate. Somewhat historically accurate, he says. Oh, for goodness sake! Don't get me. Well, you know, you think about the guns high up in the aft superstructure. Look at the forward superstructure. I just noticed them sitting up there. No, guns that size will not be sitting there. So these are their 4-inch ones, which is good. They did have a lot of, like, having a lot of 100 mils. Funnels. Main guns. Centerline guns. 16. Twins, I do agree with as their assessment because the Germans did like the twins. I think they'd have done that. I don't think I've been quite that far back. And where are we going to fit the secondary 4-inch agains? Yep, 4 inches in on there and there. And They're 2-inch drop barrel systems. We'll stick, yeah, there. And there's that right, I'd say. I'd say that fits. Maybe stick some single barrel in places. No. Yeah. That'll do. And launch. Unfinished ships. Let's go see. Two battleships, two battleships. Design ship. Prince of Wales. That is a battleship. It's been working on it. Okay, let's copy Jupiter. What is the problem with this? And nothing. That is a battleship as well. UAD seems to be having fun today. It seems to be having fun. So that's a fairly decent design for them. Unfinished ships. What's unfinished about this? It has everything it can have in it. Has secondary tower, has barbettes. Well, for some reason, it doesn't want me to launch this shit, this kind of thing. Okay. Let's go back to this. Bum. Bum. Prince of Wales is a battleship. Jupiter is a battleship. I have no idea why it's playing up today. Right. Let's do... Go all the way back. And start again. And still it's flashing up with the select a ship of the required type. I have. It's a battleship. It's supposed to be a battleship. And I have selected a battleship. Even when it designs itself, it doesn't like. Oh, good lord, quadruple 18-inch guns. However, I do like this design, but I do not consider it realistic design I will take into option. But, oh my lord, that would have been fun. Oh, good lord. That would have been fun. A quadruple 80. Yeah, you could really have a party on the aft deck. You could do a lot of things on the aft deck. If you take that down to about that, and take that down to standard, and increase beam to standard, and draft to about there, you can probably at this point add in this is basically not something anyone would ever like to come across in reality, because that's just not good for anyone to try and fight. Yeah. That is sort of... That is otherwise known as Armageddon coming your way. There are easier and quicker ways to die than face this vessel. And a lot less painful ways to die than facing this vessel. You would probably cease to exist fighting this vessel fairly quickly. What about you ceases to exist is up for debate. 16-inch belts. Let's take those down to about 16, because they would be. Maybe that'll go down to about 8. We'll go with 8 across the board. Now the ship is overweight. No, it's back to normal weight. Pitch is at 40% though, so I probably want to do something about that. And engine efficiency is 83%. Let's see, what engine stuff do we have going on? We have diesel engines. Oh, we don't want diesel engines. Why would we want Why would we want diesel engines? Ship is now overweight. What is overweight about her exactly? There wasn't overweight about her a second ago. Yeah, she's got she is pretty darn beautiful. Let's see, what can we do about you? We can get rid of you. Get rid of you. We need a secondary tower that's actually going to require less weight than 2,500 tons, so we want it to be down to roughly. We want it to be roughly 1,600 tons. Ideally, that's at 1,735 tons. But let's have a look at what that is. Modern secondary tower, Because that's an option. That one's an option. That one gives me 3,000 tower spotting. That gives me 3,900 tower spotting plus 30 torpedo spotting. Those are more useful, definitely. But can I? That's 5,400, 244 torpedo. I really don't want to go lower than this. I can do that. And I want to try and get this a little bit closer. And this a little bit closer because that will reduce pitch just that tad. Does it have any secondaries? At the moment it doesn't really have any secondaries, but I'm fairly certain the 18-inch guns can be used in an air defense role. Or rather, if they do fire in the general direction of aircraft, I think aircraft will cease to be in flight. Why have you gone for... Why did you do that? Where'd the barbette go? So that takes me down by about that would still work, and that gives me an extra 100 tons to play with, which I can use for secondaries, especially if I go back along here, delete that, barbette. So now I have about 500 tons for secondaries. Let's see, 666 inches. There you go. It now has secondaries. And honestly, at this point, I am no longer worried about anything being in its existence. If I take it out like that gives me 600 more tons. Can I use that for something? Hydraulic turrets. Can I use advanced hydraulic? No. Got enhanced. Increased. Yes, please. Heavy. TNT4, yes. Yeah, that'll do. Let's see. That'll do. Couldn't go down to this one and go for some pom-poms. It's always good to have some pom-poms on. You need pom-poms. There you go, pom-poms. So now she has got air defense. She's got pom-poms, and she's got dual-purpose triple 6-inch turrets. That's what I'm claiming anyway. She also has those. Ship is overweight. I'm required to have a battleship. This is a battleship by any definition of the UAD. I am going to have to get it upgraded, aren't I? It's obviously 105 is now to reach the point at which it's going to have B-Buggy on me today. It's been fine all week. Doing things perfectly. I'm going to have to consider and go, you forgot to send me the Steam upgrade key. I need to send that through. But yeah, I want this thing to go and fight something. Mainly because there isn't really anything that's going to exist once this starts fighting it. There are a few things I think I could do to make it more scary. Potentially more scary. Potentially more scary. Because I'm fairly certain if I do this, I'm not making a ship so much unthinkable as, well, good luck trying to actually sinking it. 15. Yeah, 15. We'll go with. Well, actually, no, we'll go with 16. Okay. Yeah, that's looking good. Although it looks like a Germanic end. And no, I'd like it the other way around, please. No, I need it that way around. Preferably. Take some mammoth guns. No? Then we will muck around with you a bit more. Until you do. Do we think that's potentially scary enough? Do you think potentially someone might go, you know what, I don't want to fight that one? Basically, consider this to be sort of, I don't know, gun tanker. Yeah, we'd all prefer to stay behind this first ship. Engine efficiency 32.2%. Yeah, I think we're going to need more in the way of power. Some guns have a poor offset of fire. Well, we'll sort that one out very quickly. Let's give this all the top of the range and see what we have to work down to. Oh yeah, that would explain why they're quite so big. Over. Right then. Yep, that should be improved. This is not something you want to come across at sea. It's basically a case of the Royal Navy if the Royal Navy built something like this, it'd be a case of the Royal Navy going, hello, yes, you will not be, you might come by whatever angle you wish, but you will not come by the front. But it could get worse. Because main guns, side guns. Could always do that. You can only do this really in this game. In reality, you wouldn't, because frankly, it would be a nightmare. But the other option, to try and get more in terms of spacing on this design, you can do this, 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 and that's rather realistic, and then that allows you a lot for secondaries. Half weight, 22%, so you can shift this forward as far as you like, basically. Because this is, despite me not liking it because of the way it looks, I will admit that this is probably the most efficient arrangement you can build of the guns. Half weight offset, 6.8%. Secondary guns, put in some triples. And now we have a nice realistic design. Although, can I fit? Just as a little sort of, if you try and chase me reminder, honestly. Nothing sort of serious. Oh, I can! So you can come from me behind, and you get 4. And you come from me from the front, and, well, life isn't much better. Although I can make life far better for me. Park you there. Make you disappear. You go to there. You go to there. You go to there. I can still fit it all. And yay! And this is now sort of a balanced ship design. Engine efficiency is absolutely atrocious, but it's a balanced ship design. Let's go for geared turbines and induced. Induced works, and it's only 3,000 tons overweight. Oh, good. Our bets are free. Put the anti-flood down to 2. Reinforced bulkheads down to 1. Anti-torpedo down to 4. Triple hull done to a second double hull. Yay! And I've actually saved enough weight. I've got another couple of 1,000 tons. 1,000 tons to put on secondaries. Hello. Right then. Half weight offset is still pretty darn heavy. So I want to push something forward. Just going to push some weight forward. So what can we get? Now, yeah. Enhanced? No. Standard. Increased. How big? Oh, we can go to the 24-inch torpedoes. Now, are we going to go fast? Which decreases their range. Do we want to go electric? Decreases their section range, but increases their cost. Decreases their range overall and their top speed. We're going to oxygen. Plus 50%, negative 50%. Ooh. I think we're going to go oxygen. Yeah. Ah, Let's see if we still can't. I have selected a single ship or the ship required. I do not know. You are a battleship. There is no one on Earth who would decide you were not a battleship. They might decide you were Megadeth coming their way, but this is apparently, according to this game, not a battleship. Right. Give me a second. And then play again. Ah, well, at least you get to see the opening now. Voila! Cute. So there's a custom battle. And it's going to be the UK, Britain versus Germany. In 1940, and now I've built it, I'm going to have to test it out. In the most unrealistic scenario known to mankind, mano-on-mano battleship. I'm going to take my Goliath. I'm just going to let them auto-generate something. Apparently it has 9 18-inch guns. Your fleet has unfinished ships. Let's go back to me. That looks like a pretty finished ship to me. That is a battleship. There is... It's just being weird. UAD is being weird on me. Let's go back to 1920. Yeah, this was another one of the Queen Elizabeth class I was sort of toying around with. And I can launch that. And... enemy... Yeah. They have theirs. Me. I'm going to put it back to historical accuracy version. Not sure why it doesn't like my 1940 designs, but it doesn't like my 1940s design. And launch. And this is the historically accurate, what I think Queen Elizabeth Maximus would have sort of looked like. In as accurate as you can do in UAD, because it's 16.5-inch guns in it would be in real life, versus the 16-inch guns UAD will allow you. AI is on. Ajax, go hunting. Look at this beauty. 28 knots top speed. Put it up to 30 times 30 speed. Oh my. Look at her rock. And you can see the wave effect. That's practically a speedboat the way she's racing ahead of the moment. Woohoo! Yes, the Germans spotted us first, but... well... they have 12 guns. Because I think I was being nice. Did I? Yeah, I made this an improved Bayern type. I said, right then, let's be nice to the Germans and say, well, they could have built a triple turret. That's not that complicated. They couldn't have done more than a 15-inch gun with the technology they had available and the stuff they were doing at the time. They couldn't have done much more than they did on the Bayern, but I gave them a triple turret, so, you know, they have got 12 guns versus 15. How is it? You are good, Ajax. You are good. She's already on fire. And as you can see, this is where this game really does come into it, because you are quite so long away. That's the difference how doors are on. Yeah, it has... they're not so much doors as they are there to try and guide the smoke. The idea was, if you had those sort of things up there, they would make sure the smoke went up and away from the guns, etc. You know, they're kind of like, if you've ever seen on some steam trains, they have these sort of plates around the boiler at the front, around the sort of the steam box or the smoke steam box sort of area at the front. Which, you know, is just below the funnel, to try and direct air up to keep an updraft, to keep the smoke away from the cab. Yeah. Yeah, 99% structural, 100% flotation versus... well, I'd say you are already suffering a bit. And again, I'm not quite sure how. But one thing I have noticed is this design is incredibly accurate with the 15 main guns. I think at a certain point, the sheer number of guns does have an impact. And I start to see some of the arguments made in favour of the 14-inch. Because if you were managing to fire 12, 14-inch, I can well see that creating a number of the volume of fire would generate likelihood of hits. Certainly seems to at 15, but I would say it's more likely 15, 16. So you need probably about 16 14-inch guns to really match him. Ooh. On fire again. So you know though, Ajax, you're on fire. This time you are getting actually hit. Last time I took you out, it was a bit of a Sunday sale for you. The fact that this is a mano a mano though is entirely top trumps and entirely wrong for naval historical accuracy. But if this somehow did happen, if, let's say, the Germans had a single battleship out somewhere in the world, and it had bumped up into a single... and the British had sent out some battleships hunting it, and one of them had decided to go off one way on its own to investigate, yeah. This is the battle. Oh, that's going to hit. Yeah, I'm not surprised you're on high. You just got clobbered. That was potentially very painful. Come on. And of course it is Total War on Sunday. Empire Total War on Sunday, which is what I play on my Sunday relaxing sessions. Look, come on. You are definitely a very much improved Bayern. You shouldn't be having... Well, probably you should be, actually, because a nice way, not only do I improve you, I give you a massive speed bump. Try and make things work better for you. The Bayern is always, to me, more of an equivalent of the... Jacob, Sunday will be the last stream I should catch. Twitch doesn't want to work on shipping attack, flying a new ship on Monday. Well, I'm happy to hear you're going out to the new ship, because I'm hoping you're going to enjoy yourself. Sorry to hear you won't be joining me on Sunday. Well, no, you won't be joining me next week. But, you know. What I mean is there'll be a whole load of videos for you to catch up on when you get back. Think of it that way. Because my intention is to keep them up. How has she done it? I don't know what secret sauce these 15, 16-inch guns have in them. But you put them into a combination and it's not... Look at what... This ship is 12, 15-inch guns, okay? It's not that badly off. It's certainly not to the point at which it should be getting pummeled like it is getting pummeled. I do wonder if it's the combination of the 28.5 knot top speed and the 15, 16-inch guns. I think it's probably a combination. Oh, good. Well, yeah, you'll be able to keep up these videos. Basically, the Empire Total War ones come out on Mondays, and the UAD ones will come out on Wednesdays. So if you want to catch them up, this one will be out from, probably not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after, because I do tend to do my week in arrears. Yeah, this is just... At this point, it's not nice. It's really not nice. There isn't much chance for you in this one. I suppose I could try a 1-on-2 and see how you do versus 2 ships, but, it's the dictating of the range. It's the speed combined with the firepower. That's what gives them the real strength. They can dictate the range to best suit their armour, so it doesn't matter what thickness their armour is. They're operating at the best range for their armour versus those guns, but to give the balance against their guns' range and performance. Which is the trick of what you want to do. It's basically the whole defence plan for a battle cruiser versus any other ship is to try and make the envelopes work for them. The fact that you're still fighting shows your bravery, but there's also part of me which is thinking you're not. I do love the graphics. If you looked at the graphics from the frothing at the back and the spout press, you think she was moving pretty quickly, but she's just not, even at 5 times speed. Because when you start to look at this one, the graphics aren't that much different, and yet this one is really chundering along. Just outside, keeping outside of their secondary gun range. Look, they've got 7-inch guns, which gives them a fairly decent secondary fire, and she is literally sitting at 13.5 kilometers, 200 meters outside of the secondary range. So the secondaries just don't matter in this fight. You have secondaries, great, but they do not matter in this fight. They're not being brought to bear. So you have all those secondaries sitting there going, no! I did give them a smart crew. But to be fair, I don't wish to curse my ships war with BTs. And I gave the German ships a smart crew as well, from memory. I tend to prefer to give the ships all evenly smart crews because it works better. Usually I give the Germans... I'm sure I did. Did I give the Germans a smart crew? I think I did give them a smart crew. You are a dreadnought in the pure dreadnought form, aren't you? You have no secondaries at all. It's just... yeah. Again, this is at 13% structure integrity. The fact that it's at 13% structure integrity, it's got 94% still flotation. If you're at 13% structural integrity, your hull is basically Swiss cheese. 13%. At a certain point, you have got more gaps in the hull than you have got hull. So how you are at 94% afloat, yet 12% structural... yeah. It just... no. Very brave crew. Fighting wholesomely. From this side, Ajax looks unscathed, almost. From this side, where you can see the damage she sustained, she's at 72% structural integrity. And... once again, I just got affected by the flashes. And... yeah. Jacob, is this in this area? What would be the most common way to signal surrender? Still lowering flags, pretty much. Pretty much. The German ship is basically just... it's firing, but its accuracy is shot. It could still land some hits, but any hits it does land will be more through hope than anything else. Actually, its secondary superstructure looks okay, so maybe. I think I can hear its engines and its hull groaning. No, it's not easy to see surrender at that range. You'd have to lower your flags and hoist white flags to surrender. And I don't... ships in this period didn't really do that. It would have been sensible for some of them to do so. For example, if von Spee had done it, that would have been sensible. Although the more and more I do think about this, the more and more I do wonder what the American response to, actual response to, the Royal Navy producing such an enhanced Queen Elizabeth class would have been. I'm not sure, really. I think, honestly, the American response would be... some people would want to do something, but no one would want to fund it. But the thing is, that's a risk to run, and the British government didn't want to run that risk. Because if America did respond, that could potentially ruin a relationship. And Britain rather liked the relationship they had with America. Not yet. Let's go to design ship. Let's go to the enemy. Make sure I'm giving... Yeah, I gave them a train crew. Let's give them a veteran crew. Go back to me. Any changes I'd like to make in that, if I was going historically accurate? No, roughly that's about the right things on the UAD's definitions. I've got about 100 tons. You see, they had... So if I take that down to... They had 13-inch belts on a 15-inch guns. Now, if you consider this is supposed to have 16.5, but actually has 16, and I've got 15-inch belt, I wonder if I can take that down to 14.5, which is going to give me some weight. It's going to give me a couple hundred tons. The rest all sort of fits. Don't want the 4 to be that heavy. If I take it on a 5, that's okay. And half deck a bit, make a bit more. Take that down to about 14. Someone's alarm is going off. Not sure if you can hear that, but someone's alarm is going off in my area. Put that up to about 4. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Full weight offset now 0.1%, so that's about as bad as accurate as I can get. Pitch is at 30.4%. Doesn't seem to really affect the accuracy. Take the bulkheads down to standard though. I can get that into enhanced. So do I want standard or many bulkheads? That seems to reduce the pitch. That could be more useful ultimately. Could be more useful. Yep. Leave it as it is. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about right. Let's go check on my enemy ship. They've got veterans, they've got 7-inch guns, 4-inch guns. Is there anything else I can do to help them out? That doesn't really help now, does it? Anything I can do? Now, we have to remember side guns, units, triples, duels. Because the Germans did like a nice double, a nice wing turret. Far more than I ever did. I'll put that there. And I get the secondary, and I go for... Was it that one or was it that one? It was that one, wasn't it? I think. And then I can sort of play around with things a little bit. And that could give them a little bit more firepower. I don't think they'd have gone down this route, but it seems to make it slightly more fair. Hello, Malaga. I don't think the Americans would go with a Tillman design under any circumstance. Honestly, I think the Americans... I think their honest response to the 16.5-inch ships would be to go for an 18-inch ship. I think they would build their 14-inch ships as planned, but they would change development from the 16-inch gun to an 18-inch gun, and then they would appear with the 18-inch gun, which is what the British suspected they'd do, and was probably the most likely performance for the Germans, for the Americans to do. But there we go. Can I do anything to help with the weight loadout? My dear Frederick. Let's take you up to 48,000 and see whether that works. Draft a bit there. It's a bit deep draft now for the Kiel Canal, but it might work. It might work. Let's see. Let's see how you do. I think... honestly, the Americans have said, I think they would go for an 18-inch. I think they would go for an 18-inch design. 9,000 kilometers. Bulkheads many. That's what I think the Americans would do. They might not. There's always a chance they decide not to, but I think most likely that's what they would do. They would go for. So now it's going to be 15 16-inch guns versus 15 15-inch guns. We'll see if that makes a difference. We'll see if the whole difference has been down to the sheer volume of fire. Somehow I didn't expect it to find the enemy that quickly. Let's have a look at this one I built. Yes. I know, I have made you look a bit unnatural for a German designed ship. I don't think they would have gone with this kind of style, but you never know. They did like the step down at the back, even though it does make for some really interesting characteristics in a battleship. But we'll see. Okay, again, they're on fire. Ajax is now on fire. So Ajax has been hit, but they've been penetrated and hit, so they're at... So that's 7-inch. You've got your 7-inch guns. You've got those good guns. Yeah, the American response, my suspicion would be they were already starting work on the 16. They really started working on the 16-inch when the Royal Navy produced the 15-inch. That's when they sort of really kicked that into gear. And I think they'd have just gone, right then, the Royal Navy's produced a 16.5-inch ship. We'll produce an 18-inch ship. Because they sort of understood the Royal Navy was always going to build more numbers than they were because of the Germans. You have to understand, the Americans did understand the British were in a quantity race with the Germans. But they also knew they were in a quality race with them. Ooh, engine damage. First time we've had that happen. So maybe it is the sheer volume of fire she's putting on. Maybe the Germans could have dealt with this better than I thought. We have been hit hard. This could be the first time Ajax loses. Could be. Could be the first time she loses. I see. Good, good. Oh, they've managed to get into 7-inch range. Yeah. They slowed down enough to get her into secondary range. That's going to be a real problem. Because mine doesn't have any secondaries. To accommodate her 15, 16-inch guns, she is secondary. There's no secondaries. No, they're in the 7-inch range, so I presume there's the 4-inch range. Yeah, we're well into 7-inch range. That's your mistake, Ajax. Get out of 7-inch range quickly, because that's what's picking up your damage. It's not those 15-inch guns; it's the rapid-fire 7-inch. If you're this well within, how did you get this far within 7-inch range? What did I set the engagement range as, the initial engagement range? Did I make that inconsistent? If so, then it's on me. Engagement was pretty quickly. We're keeping out of 4-inch gun range, but we're still well within 7-inch gun range, and that's a problem for her. And that is literally what's happening to her. This shows you again the thing. If you cannot dictate, if you get caught unawares, your ship, which is brilliant in performing in it's an environment where it's, you know, able to dictate the range, etc., is suddenly schnookered. And that's what this one is looking like, schnookered. Mm-hmm. Currently we're able to do 19 knots. Yep. I'd say... we're below, but... they're still getting a battering, though. That's a 7-inch is doing a lot of damage, but it's doing damage to the structure, which is easy things to take out and can reduce the range of my aiming and the accuracy. Interesting. What we want to do is that we've got 44%. Yeah, I think Ajax is going to get. Well, hang on. Ooh. You can see the rate of fire of 7-inch is just so much, it keeps it up so much more constantly than the bigger guns. Yeah, I think Ajax is going to get losing this one. I think that is seriously going to happen. I'll go back and tinker again and see what happened. I think it was the engagement ranges. This is where we need a destroyer to come to produce smoke so you can get away, don't we? That's what you need. You need destroyers and other things around here. I think this might have been me that mucked up more than you, Mr. Little Ajax. I think it might have been me. I think I might have set up a very close engagement range, because otherwise, every other time you have kept well out of the 7-inch engagement, 7-inch fire zone. And this is not that much faster. It's only 24. It's 24 knots. It's still the same speed, and you're 28.5 knots. So it's There's no reason it should have been able to wind that down. Yeah. Engines. Yeah, you're out for the count. This, I'm afraid, is on me. This is what happens when you don't pay attention to the battle you're setting up. But, to be fair, I also made it clear that now that if they're given an extra one of these, they have an extra chance. So it's amazing what 15 guns will do. Yeah, hitting the engine fairly soon again, though, that can be put down. That was a bit of a close engagement, also those 15 guns. Interesting. So, the answer is, if you want to win your battles, you want at least 15 guns. Obviously. Again, the King George V's, their 14-inch guns in multiple quadruples, that sort of makes sort of some sense. It's just the 14-inch gun itself is just so... That's one thing, if they managed to get it to 16 14-inch guns, no one would have been thinking twice about it, going, yep, that's a beast of a ship. Let's go see Ajax. Yeah. She's not long for this world. But she's still fighting on bravely. They do good sounds. Although when you think about that, is a actual ship which would have a few thousand crew aboard on it. Yeah. About 1,200 or so crew is my estimate. They've put it down to a crew of roughly 1,700. Something less good. They even did that some losses. Ajax are sunk. Right, I have to go and chat away with my master students. So I will say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for taking part, and please do. I'm doing this again on Sunday. Please to go and check out my YouTube channel if you haven't seen it, because that's the thing you sort of say, and you'll see more detail and more examples of me actually talking about the possibility that did actually create the Queen Elizabeth Maximus, that was the Ajax. Anyway. No, I had got the range set up right, I think. 32,000 meters. Yeah, 35 kilometers. 32, 35 kilometers. Should have been okay. Oh well. Right. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care, and well, have fun. Toodles. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Malaga. Thank you, Maiku007, and thank you, King George 6, and Leslie Leslian for watching. Thank you, everyone. Take care.